Hello Commanders, welcome back to the command table. I am Mathramar and we're going to be taking you through the last part of the first half of the Ancient Road. So this is map 2, the second half, battles 266 through 270. And if you like what you see here, please do like, subscribe, and if you want notifications when I drop new videos, be sure to hit that notification bell. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those below. Alright, we are on battle 266. So let's see what we're up against here. We have 2 brutes, 4 giant toads, and 5 groups of hammer throwers. So I've decided to bust out the plague throwers. I haven't used them very often, but I figured that this would be an ideal opportunity to make that happen. The brutes are immune to freeze. Everything else would be vulnerable to fire, but I figured, hey, why not? We'll just grab the plague throwers and put them to work and see how they do. Everything's going to converge on these thorn guards. They're close enough to where anything on the top end is going to hit them instead of trying to bypass them by running through. Sometimes if you've got some warhounds or whatever else at the very top, whatever's closest to the top will run past and kill everything behind. But we don't have to worry about that since these are all ranged units back here, and the brutes are already in range. Everything else from the bottom is going to move forward until they reach about here and then come up. So I've got crystal spires to start doing some damage to everything that gets close, and the drummer is tagged onto those crystal spires in order to give the shield bearers the buff without being in range of the brutes, and the drummer shouldn't take any damage. The Valkyrie, the closest units that they are available to tag onto are the Thorn Guards, so that should keep at least one alive for the duration of the battle. And then everything else is placed far enough back to where the Thorn Guards are the closest thing to the Valkyrie. So these will move forward and begin to engage. The Plague Throwers are going to spread the plague throughout the entire thing. And that's one of the main differences between Plague Throwers and Ember Fiends. Ember Fiends will still shoot the closest thing. The Plague Throwers will shoot randomly at whatever is in range and pick random targets throughout. So that's why I thought they were all optimal compared to the Ember Fiend for this situation, just because everything is really spread out. So here we go. Okay, everything's converging on those Thorn Guards. The 2 ones that are not healed by the Valkyrie die very quickly, but I'm not terribly concerned because you look at that Thorn Guard, he's doing just fine. He's even got Plague, and he's doing just fine. So now it's just a matter of grinding through and killing everything off. Those Plague Throwers are pretty savage. They just take the steam right out of the enemy army, and they attack so much slower, and they do take that damage over time. So again, you'd probably be just fine with an Ember Fiend, but I just thought it would be nice to showcase the Plague Throwers for once. Okay, 267. Let's see what we've got here. Organized Army. This one looks pretty daunting, but it's not too terrible. I've got some mine shrooms to compensate for this battle wagon. We're just going to take those 3 army points from the enemy, send them right back, and turn them into 3 army points for me. So this one set of mine shrooms is going to do a 6-point swing for the battle, which is going to be tremendous because I'm going to have a whole bunch of units coming from the rear to attack all this stuff. So what I've also got, I've got these 3 bomb bots lined up in such a way as they're going to just penetrate right through the center. And even if they don't kill everything out of whatever units are in the front, the second bomb bot will go through that cleared path, and those units will converge on that bomb bot and get blown up. The Crystal Spires are far enough back that this first bomb bot is going to be able to get contact, and then the second bomb bot will be running through right about the same time that it starts to get shot at. It'll be blowing up some good stuff too. The Risen Warriors took a little while to place just because the way things ran, so I had to run this a couple times just to get it right. But they should take care of the hammer throwers, whereas the assassins will be working on the archers, the Crystal Spire, and coming through that storm collar on the way. So I've got my contingency plan with my arcane archers, because that battle wagon will be back here drawing a lot of attention. If we do get to frenzy, they'll be able to clean everything up. So that was my theory for that one. Okay, so bomb bots, poof, poof, and poof. That took out almost 6 full units with those 3 bomb bots. And then the massive swing with just the one group of mine shrooms, taking that battle wagon, and the assassins, of course. Some of my favorite units for journey and skirmish, doing their very particular work. Okay, 268. Alright, for this one, I have utilized the crows again. I realize not everybody will have crows, but that's fine. You can still get this done without them. I've put the mine shrooms up front so that the Eternal Champions will start working for me. I've got my assassins placed so that they will start on one specific cannoneer each and then move on to the next. I've covered this a couple of times now, to where I used to split them to try and take out one cannoneer each, but I figure I learned that if you just have them both on one cannoneer, they'll take him down completely, and you won't have 2 cannoneers getting a shot off before they both go down. Then they'll move up to the Valkyries. If not, the Risen Warriors are there to finish that job. The Arcane Blades are there because the cannoneers will have a difficult time shooting the Arcane Blades, as they'll be ping-ponging back and forth if there's any of them left. So the crows will stun the Eternal Champions and the cannoneers, so that's why they are incredibly useful in this scenario. Let's let it run. Okay, the Eternal Champions are now fighting amongst themselves. The Arcane Blades are chipping in, and it's just a matter of time before everything gets either stunned to death or pushed into a mine shroom. Okay, let's move on to 269. Okay, this one did give me some trouble, but finally got it sorted out. There was just a lot of units. Normally I try to compensate for the Risen Warriors by putting some Thorn Guards in the back, but I figured there wouldn't really be anything in the back if these guys just steamrolled through and just killed everything along the way, and then they'd just come back after those Risen Warriors. So the primary threat here is the Death Knight. So how I've done this is, instead of trying to use 4 or 5 bombs to clear through everything, I figured why not just bunch everything up on these entangling roots and then blow up more per bomb. So that was my thought process there, and then this is just a nice healthy squad with a paladin, battle drummer, 2 groups of hammer throwers, and 2 groups of shield bearers. So let's go ahead and run that. Just watch how the units coalesce around this point here, enabling 2 bomb bots to get to that Death Knight. And there she goes. Okay, now, even though I didn't progress through the army like I thought I would, the Risen Warriors push my hammer throwers back into my paladin's healing radius, as well as staying in range of the battle drummer. So you notice that it takes a long time for them to take down a hammer thrower, and at that point it doesn't really matter. I've got the upper hand. So I've got plenty of units left to finish the job. The shield bearers carrying the day, and we finally got it down with some much lower unit levels than what we were up against. Okay, 270, and then we'll call it for this video. Okay, we've got a Jormag replica with 3 Earth Elementals, and that's about it. So what I figured I'd do is I'd just expedite the process by blowing up the first phase of the top and bottom Earth Elemental, and that would cause them to run faster towards the group and be able to be killed off that much quicker. The center one's going to go down very fast just because everything's kind of aligned right at it. But for Jormag, he does have a freezing attack. So you could probably switch out the shield bearers for some warhounds, or even dire wolves if you have them, because they will be immune to that freezing pulse attack. I was able to get it done with this without too much trouble, but that is something that you want to be concerned about. Also, if you are going to use artifacts, I actually have all of the artifacts except for 2 of them for these slots up here, and I could have used Bulwark of the Dragon Slayer to compensate for that freeze, but I'm trying to do this all without them, just because I realize not everybody's going to have artifacts when they go through this. So here goes. Let's show you how it goes down. Okay, and he does start with that shield around him that just faded off, so there's a brief delay before you can really crank damage on him. Okay, there goes that freezing pulse, so my whole front line gets temporarily frozen. But the hammer throwers and the archers are able to keep everything cranking. And the battle drummer doesn't seem to get caught in the pulse until just there. So the first couple of pulses, he was just fine. Again, highly recommend, if you have dire wolves, try those out instead of shield bearers, because they do have a lot of health. They do great frontal cone AoE damage, and they're immune to freeze. Okay, so that was 270. Thank you for watching. We'll have, as you can see, I've recorded more, so I'll have more for you very shortly. Please do like and subscribe, and check out thecommandtable.com, where we have tutorials, raid strategies, and coming soon we will have merchandise and comics. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.